Miss Elegant, can
Yes.
you hear us?
Who's speaking?
Stucker, and then we also have admin Jeff on the line as well.
Well, which voice? You sound like twins, like identical twins. They both sound the same.
That was just Sucker talking.
That was just
Hey,
me.
Stucker.
I'm Stucker.
I'll try to change it up a bit, Miss Elegant.
That's Jeff.
Hi, Jeffrey. How are you, sir?
I'm great, Miss Elegant. How are you? Thanks for taking the time to do the show in the snowstorm.
That's right.
Don't call him a he, cause she's a she. It's Elegant Elliot Offman. Don't call him a he, cause she's a she. It's Elegant Elliot Offman.
A train wreck is something that you know you're not supposed to look at, but you can't help but looking at it.
It's Elegant's world.
Right.
Bingo. So first and foremost, we have to always acknowledge Mr. Girardi, McNervy, whatever. He had his 41st birthday today. Congrats, Girardi. Wow.
Happy birthday to Gary.
To who?
Happy birthday to Gary Girardi.
Make scumbag.
Girardi,
Right.
I wouldn't have believed you
Make
were
scumbag.
41 years of age. Can you close your hole for a second, sir? I wouldn't believe, Girardi, that you were 41 years of age. You have such a nice face. You look 71.
Thanks for letting me fill in for him, Miss Elegant.
Stucker, what happened to you? You were broken down, a pauper without any money to pay for your phone bill. I mean, I don't mean to belittle you or degrade you or diminish you, but what happened there? Can you just give us a fast rundown? You had no more money to pay the bill?
Are you referring to last night's phone call to discuss the show today?
I'm referring to everything that Plaques, his plaque in his teeth, that Plaques said that you didn't have any scratch.
No, I'm not doing too well in terms of scratch right now, Miss Elegante.
He blackmouthed you, blacklisted you, he black-dogged you down to the ground, said you were an effing broco.
A broco, a crumb bomb, a flunky, right?
What you didn't have any money? What happened? Be honest. You didn't have any cash to pay?
Yeah. I'm not doing too well. My phone got suspended, but I'll get paid on Tuesday. I'll be fine.
So happy to hear that. No, just kidding.
Miss Elegant.
I'm happy to hear that. But listen, actually, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not unhappy or unhappy to hear it. Whatever you do, you do. If you want to commit suicide, you commit suicide. That's on you, right? The Stucker, that's on you. But in any event, talking about, you were, who was the one that was unavailable? Somebody had a birthday, which was Dave Mirati, and you were involved in a funeral, right?
Not a funeral. It was a 10-year anniversary of the death of a friend, and I went up to the gravesite and visited her.
Oh, that's too bad. I condolences.
Yeah, so basically on the way back from that, it's about an hour from Denver. I live in Denver.
Stucker, try not to speak when I'm interrupting. Try not to speak when I'm interrupting. Now, so anyway, to move right into it about funerals, and we don't like to hear about that, but this is a situation with a mother-in-law situation, and a gentleman was married to his wife, nice Jewish family, and unfortunately the mother-in-law passed away, and that was the end of that. And soon after that, the marriage was over. Not as a result of the death of the mother-in-law. It just crumbled up. Guy got remarried, and he was happily ever after in a second marriage. And you're not going to believe this, gentlemen. You're not going to believe it. The mother-in-law of his second wife died also. Yep.
You're kidding.
So, no, I'm being honest with you. I'm telling you, they just a strange series of freak events, and both mother-in-laws died, two separate marriages. And here's the kicker. You want the kicker? You want
Absolutely.
the kicker. You want the frosting on the cake? You want the icing on the cake?
Absolutely.
Both mother-in-laws serendipitously, I know you like that word, serendipitously just happened to be buried in the same cemetery. I mean, what's the chances of that? 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000?
That's crazy.
Right. 2 different wives, 2 different mother-in-laws, both passed away. Check this out. And they're both buried in the same cemetery. So now, to make it worse, the guy from the second marriage, he breaks that marriage up too. Again, unrelated to the deaths of the mother-in-law in the second marriage as well. So, all right, he has 2 marriages that are broken, 2 dead mother-in-laws, both buried in the same cemetery. It sounds sick. Okay.
That's incredible.
That's some dark humor.
But in any event, the guy is still a nice Hamisher guy, and he happened to like both mother-in-laws. Some people, they don't like their mother-in-laws. He liked both mother-in-laws. So even though he was divorced from both women, he figured it would be a nice gesture, a good way of showing his love for them and showing his ongoing commiseration, and he still thinks about them, and he still mourns for them every time he does think about them. He thought it would be a very good gesture and a good act of kindness and a good deed to go to the cemetery on the high holy holidays and to pay respects. And he also had an idea that maybe since he was going, he can, in a manner of speaking, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. He can, as the plots, the headstones were not that far. One is at one end of the cemetery, one was like the other end, but it's in walking distance, and he can pay respects to them both on the same day. And that's what his plan of action was going to be. But just to double check, he checked with his Rav, his pulpit Rav. That means the rabbi that's on the pulpit, on the beamer, on the podium. He wanted to check with the shul, S-H-U-L, the shul rabbi, to make sure that this was the proper etiquette. So he asked the rabbi, "Is it all right, Rabbi? I'm going to pay respects to both mother-in-laws that are deceased, and I want to show reverence, and I just want to get your okay. I want your stamp of approval that it's okay to see them both on the same day." And the rabbi heard the question, and he says, "Absolutely not. We don't want to mix 2 simchas together. Simchas." Simcha in Jewish, that's a joyous occasion. We don't want to mix 2 joyous occasions.
Get it?
It's joyous. It's happy.
Right between the eyes.
That's great.
Exactly. All right. Now we move from the joke of the week. Now we go to the story that everybody had been waiting for, that when Miss Elegant was rendered unconscious by dear God in heaven. Wow, what a horrible story that is. This is real life. This is really, I mean, and the only reason I'm even telling the details of this, I'm telling it for one reason. I want to try to get into the heads of the mongoose and the mongoloids and the mongrels out there, that if they think death is an all-ending, all-obviating, I know you like that word, all-obliterating end to pain and suffering, they have rocks in their head. They should commit themselves into Rockland State, Bellevue, and Creedmoor right now for therapy, because the pain in the next world will just begin. The fun will just begin. And I don't mean fun, I mean the pain and suffering. I use the word fun euphemistically. Okay, so as I was in that horrible world of crime and criminal action, so
Miss Elegant, could you tell us what happened to you that rendered you unconscious?
Yes. Well, you mean the events leading up to that? I was stealing. Are you talking about the events leading up to that? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, that and then the specific illness or incident that rendered you unconscious and near death. What was it? A sickness or you got hit in the head?
Yeah. So the lead up is I was in a life of high crime, and theft was my everyday my everyday goal. How much money can I steal every day? How many truckloads of merchandise that I'm not going to pay for can I get every day? How many fraudulent operations, fraudulent deals can I commence every day? How many people in a day's time, in an 8, 10, or 12-hour period, was I able to fleece and cheat and defraud and defalcate? Fleece, cheat, defraud, and defalcate. So just like my life now is only about godliness, holiness, wholeheartedness, and righteousness, my life then was just what I said: cheat, steal, thievery, debauchery, all that kind of sick stuff. To take as much as I can from every unexpected person, unsuspecting person that I could do that from. So that was the lead up to it. Then
Right.
Now to the next part. So now that we're going back, like, again, a million years in a manner of speaking. So by the way, I don't want to miss this thought. Where I was unconscious, it's guaranteed. I'm going to give you 1 or 2 places. It was so long ago, but it was either St. Francis Hospital or Lenox Hill Hospital, right here in Manhattan. And I don't know if they do, but if the hospitals keep records, like lifetime records of people with illnesses or people died, or people, I don't know if they do. Maybe they keep it for 7 years. Like if you're a debt collector, you only keep the records for 7 years, or whatever. You're in debt, you get a judgment at 7 years, worth 7 years. But the hospitals keep it. You would see, you bear proof that what I'm saying is completely accurate. And what I'm about to say, it is so certain. I mean, without any exaggeration whatsoever, just as sure as the disease of Mallory-Weiss syndrome. That's Mallory, Mallory-Weiss. Go check it with your doctors, with the gastroenterologist. Syndrome means it's a tear in the esophagus, and that's due to vomiting. It's a tear in the esophagus, could even be in the esophageal sphincter. It's due to vomiting. It's called Mallory-Weiss syndrome. And that's a physiological certainty, an anatomical certainty, what I said. So what I'm about to say now about this incident has the same certainty as that Mallory-Weiss syndrome, to a physiological certainty. So I had gotten through with an event, and let me not go into the details of that event. It was an event of the heisting also, but we can, for the sake of time here, we don't need all the details. It was an event of heisting, and bingo, within a matter of minutes after that, I was unconscious. And you see, when you're unconscious, the last thing I remembered was that situation with the heisting and the thing that I pulled off. And then the only other thing that I remember is, so I am in a holding place, just like you would see maybe in a movie. And this is it. This is the way it is. It's real life. And it's a clouded room. And I remember everything. I knew that I died. And I remember it all. My body was naked on a holding table, and I was being stretched in and out like an accordion. Try to picture an accordion, right? An organ, and it's being squeezed in and out. Think of a human body being squeezed literally up and back like an accordion. That's the pain that I was experiencing. Now, the funny thing about it is, or the critical, insane thing, or the realistic thing about it is, that my body was cold stone dead, unconscious, in either St. Francis or Lenox Hill Hospital, and my soul was totally alive. So the brain part of my body was totally alive. It had been transferred, it had been taken out of my body by dear God, and it was brought to this clouded room. I'm on a table like the day I was born, like naked. And my body is being squeezed. that's the exact way I can describe it, like an accordion, up and down in this dire pain. And while I'm there, again, I knew my name. I knew I had died. I was able to reminisce, all the things that I had done, all these horrible things that I had done in my life. And again, I'm just going to preempt real quick. Every detail that I just given you, just as sure as the words D and C means dilation and curettage. Dilation and curettage in the medical world. That means that's the scraping of the lining of the uterus of the female reproductive system for the purpose of healthy tissue. Healthy tissue being able to be regrown. It's a D&C. It's a dilation and curettage. CURETTAGE. Check it with your medical world, and you'll find I'm exactly right. So to the same physiological certainty as of that, the details that I just gave you are deadly accurate. And then I hear a voice, a clear, loud male voice saying, "Elliot Offen." And at that moment, I just heard that voice, and like the next thing I knew, they were taking all these tubes and drains out of my body from I had tubes in my mouth, and conscious. So that obviously was the voice of the Abishter, the one up above, the voice of Hashem. He was about ready to pronounce judgment on me, meaning he was going to pronounce sentencing on me, show me my whole life on the camera, on the film, in a manner of speaking, of all the things that I did, any good things, all the dastardly things, and why I was there, and what was going to happen to me, and I was going into the purgatory, into perdition, whatever God was going to do to me at that point. And at the last moment, in God's abounding mercy, in his abounding goodness, in his abounding mercifulness, he rescinded on taking my life, on his plan to take my life, and he put my soul back in my body and gave me another chance to live.
He sent you back.
And now, one second. If he didn't put my soul back in my body, when he called my name, and if he had pronounced the sentence in the judgment, the day of judgment on me, so then you're supposed to say, well, what would have happened? He would have pronounced judgment on me. I'm sure I wouldn't be going to heaven. I'd be going to the other place, I'm sure, for whatever period of time. And so my body, which was a corpse already in Lenox Hill or St. Francis Hospital, that would have gone to the morgue, meaning once Hashem pronounced judgment, the heart, which was obviously still ticking, the pulse, which was still beating, there was a pulse rate, that would have stopped as soon as Hashem placed the Abish to the Rabbanu Shalom, the Master of the Universe, placed sentencing on me, judgment on me. They would have taken my body to the morgue, into the cemetery, and that would have been the end. But that never happened because my soul went back to my body, took all the tubes out, and I resumed my life. So again, it's a frightening, terrifying story, but I'm trying to get through to all of not only the scum of the scum, not only the scum of the earth, the scum of the earth, the scum of the scum, the cesspool, my favorite words from Howard Stern show, the cesspool, septic tank, denizens of the deep, the denizens of the deep, the depraved, the degenerate, the deranged, the dementia precoc victims that are walking around and horrifying and terrifying the world and petrifying the world with their dastardly deeds, their wrong deeds, their flagitious deeds, their egregious deeds. You better stop right now, because anybody that told you that death, pain ends at this time of the physical death in the body, these people are encephalitic victims. Nothing like that. There's nothing further from the truth than that. So if you don't want to, I'm speaking to the world in general, if you don't want to experience what I was just talking about, please start from today. It's never too late. Do your tshuva, do your repentance. Start to make the world a safer, healthier, and happier and holier place to live. Start to conduct yourself as a way that dear God in heaven will be proud of you, rather than wanting to strike you and rather than wanting to punish you. So that goes on from that. And as far as the deeds of health go for the day, I just want everybody to know that if you stay with your chemical emulsifiers, and if you stay with your synthetic stabilizers, and you stay with your toxic preservatives, you're headed for rectal colon sigmoid cancer. We've spoken about that before. So the key on that is no toxic preservatives, no chemical emulsifiers, no synthetic stabilizers. What does that mean? Let's stay away from all dried fruits, figs, dates, prunes, dried fruits. They contain sulfur dioxide. I don't mean sulfur, S-U-L-F-U-R. Sulfur in itself is an antibiotic, a natural antibiotic. Sulfur dioxide is a toxic chemical preservative, and it will destroy the alimentary canal. Chemical emulsifiers, that's to soften your bread, all those degenerate, like used to be Tasty Breads and Wonder Breads, all those degenerate breads. They use chemical emulsifiers to make the bread softer and to prevent them from going stale. Those will cause kidney stones, kidney damage, liver damage, cancer in the digestive tract. So if you want to keep eating commercially processed breakfast breads and breakfast cereals, you're on the right road for kidney damage, liver damage, and for rectal colon cancer. The other one I spoke about, synthetic stabilizers, that's to make the food thick. So anybody who loves ice cream, right? All the ice cream and cakes and all that junk food that has poisoned their body already, there's more to it than just poison the body with calories and obesity. All of that stuff, those are thickening agents. Synthetic stabilizers are thickening agents. They're used in so many plastic kind of products. It is so horrific, so hellacious, again, especially to the digestive tract. So if people want to be sick and die, and they want to have constipation, and they want to have diarrhea, and they want to have outpouchings, and they want to have diverticulitis and diverticulosis, just keep on with that path, and you'll eventually hit it. If that's your goal, you're going to hit it very shortly. What are the questions that we have from the audience, gentlemen?
I don't want none of that stuff, Miss Elegant.
No.
So
That doesn't sound too good.
So could we ask you a favor, Miss Elegant, to announce our art contest winner?
Oh, yes. The art contest winner.
It's Timothy Quinn.
That's right. Mr.
It's
Quinn,
elegant.
you've been chosen as a winner. I hope you are not a beef stew. I hope you're not a cripple. A mental cripple. I called my fake daughter with the ski mask on the Howard Stern show. I said, "You're a mental cripple. You're a mental cripple. You're a mental cripple." Well, Mr. Quinn, I hope you're not a mental cripple. I want to congratulate you for this honor. I don't really know. I mean, if it's a real honor, but the boys, the boys in the studio, Noah, as in plaques, and the mouth plaques, and the other boys and McNillo and all these boys, they're making a big deal of it. So I guess I better make a big deal of it too. Congratulations! Congratulations! Timmy Quinn! Congratulations! I'm standing up. What an honor! That is fantastic! It's fantastic! It's the best! You can never do anything better in your life! It's extraordinary! Wow! I got my gas! It's
Wow. Thank you, Miss Elegant. So I can tell you that we really miss your curvaceous curvature in the studio. And we were wondering if you're wearing a fabulous jacket at home and a Mendoza level negligee.
That was great, but you didn't say the whole thing. Do you like the way I just turned that off? I had the maniacal laugh, and then I just turned it off. Did you like the way I did that?
I did.
It's not Mendoza. It's Mario Mendoza, right?
Right.
Mario Mendoza. Isn't that right, sir?
Yes, sir.
That's correct.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Sir, what do you become a screwball? What do you mean, sir? What's wrong with you?
I had a mental lapse, Miss Elegant.
She's a she.
What happened to you?
I had a brain fart, Miss Elegant.
A victim, a dementia victim, a hepatitis victim. What happened to you just then? What do you mean, sir?
Alzheimer's victim.
Alzheimer's sounds okay. You meant Miss Elegant, right? Is that what you meant?
Exactly. That's exactly what I meant, Miss Elegant. My apologies for my brain fart.
Never.
Don't worry, Jeff. We do
Again,
the best of us.
again. Now, I want to just tell you one thing that's very important. When I was on the Stern Show, somebody had mentioned we're going to do a call-in that in 2006, Stern said that Miss Elegant was the best guest ever in 2006, and they were enigmatized. You like that word? Why, after 2007, after I got my paycheck from the football, that I'd never returned back. We're going to address that issue in the coming shows. Somebody had asked Platts about that, but I'm going to tell you this here. I don't care what the rumor or the speculation is. I never came back on that show. I'll give you the details in the next week, perhaps. It had nothing to do with Stein. It had nothing to do with the Schwarzer girl. It had nothing to do with Harita. I mean, as far as them not having me back on, not inviting, nothing to do with them. I took the option never to go back on the show. I never called them. They called me. I never answered calls. And what I'm telling you, just as sure, now listen to it, take the wax out of your ears, just as sure as bile, that's B-I-L-E, is produced and manufactured in the liver, right? And its purpose is to emulsify fats, not emulsify fats. But that bile, right, can never get into the duodenum or 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 the duodenum of the small intestine until the ampullary. Ampullary, A-M-P-U-L-L-A-R-Y, the ampullary sphincter. I didn't say sphincter. I said sphincter of OD. ODDI of OD is wide open until the ampullary sphincter of ODDI, D like David, ODDI is wide open. That's a physiological certainty, right? Check with your gastroenterologist, right? And to that same guaranteed certainty and a surety, that I never went back on Howard Stern, was my option, my choosing, my choice, not their choice. And we'll elaborate, we'll elucidate, we'll expound, and we'll enunciate on those details in the forthcoming shows, maybe as early as next week. So Stucker and Jeff with a K. Jeff, can you fire those questions away that Plax from the Mout was talking about?
Sure, just a couple, Miss Elegant. So you're in pristine physical
senile, not elegant, Miss Elegant, senile.
Miss Elegant, you are in pristine physical condition. And the fans want to know, do you do anything to stay warm when you're running in such frigid temperatures in New York? Any extra clothing or anything like that?
So the answer to the question is, I'm surprised. I mean, if any of these people are supposed to be my fans, they already know. They've seen and heard and have been eyewitness to through videotape, video footage on the Stein show and wherever else, on the Ron and Ron show, Ron Bennington and Ron Diaz show. Ron and Ron, a major talk show at that time back in Florida, was the second biggest Stein in the country. So they've all seen. If I'm running in 100 degrees in Florida, if I'm running in 0 degrees in Manhattan, it's pantyhose, lace panties, G-string, a second pair of G-string lace panties, sheer to the waist pantyhose, a vagina-high negligee, and that's the whole dealio. That's mafia talk for deal. Doesn't matter if the wind chill is 20 below zero, the temperature is at 0, the Fahrenheit is at 5, whatever it is. Fahrenheit's at 100. That's the way I am bedecked. Bedecked. That's the garb. That's the clothing of Miss Elegant every day of the year for the last going on 4 decades now. I'm surprised that people are not aware. Maybe they just pretended they weren't aware because they wanted to hear me use all the girly words of stockings and panties and vagina high negligee.
Miss Elegant, speaking of pristine physical condition, Andrew Kraus from Minneapolis, Minnesota wants to know, are you going to be getting the COVID vaccine, or are you in such pristine physical condition that you're not worried about it?
Andrew, thank you for your question. I wouldn't take that COVID 2019 vaccine or 2016 vaccine or 2026 vaccine. If you put, Andrew, now listen to my words. If you put a German Luger at my head, and if you put a noose, a rope around my neck, and were taking me to the gallows, for the noosing, for the hanging, and if you had a machete at my belly and a stiletto, a push-button stiletto at my gut, I wouldn't take one of those under any conditions, never. By the way, all those words I use, that's just in a manner of speaking, but that means no, in a manner of speaking, never, no vaccines, don't need it, don't want it, never heard of it, make believe it doesn't exist. Next.
Loud and clear, loud and clear.
Fans wanted to know, Miss Elegant, about the Alcatraz killers or brothers. In your first appearance on Grillo, they were around. Are they still on the payroll, or did they go by the wayside with Mr. Art Klein?
Yeah, I think it was one of them was Bones.
Are you out of their mind? They're with me all the time. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to Gangster 2 about 5-6 hours ago. Of course they're with me. And as a matter of fact, Noah...
What exactly is their role?
Gangster 2, Schroen is his first name. We'll just use his first name, Schroen. He was in the studio last week, wasn't he, Noah?
That is confirmed.
What is Gangster 2's role, and what is Gangster 1's role in relation to that?
What is that?
What are the roles of the gangsters? Gangster 1, what's his role? Gangster 2, what's his role?
Well, wait a minute. There's so many more gangsters because there's an entourage of gangsters, meaning those are the two, like, primary, you could call them my main gangsters.
Well, just for the sake of this conversation, let's just stick to 1 and 2 for now.
Okay, but it just for an edification purpose, whenever need be, and it has been in the past, they just bring a whole flock of gangsters with them. So they come 6 or 8 strong, 10 strong. So 1 and 2, they have pretty much the same agenda, the same itinerary. They're on the payroll for the same purpose, to beat people up for me.
Perfect.
Beat people up. But actually, it's deeper than that. People that try to are endeavoring to disrespect Miss Elegant.
Okay, Miss
Don't do
Elegant.
that.
Well, I think that's all the time we have for this week. It's been great speaking with you this week, and you have a great time in between the next time I see you.
Miss Elegant, thank you. You're always entertaining, informative, and exceptional. Entertaining,
Thank you, Miss
informative, and
Elegant.
exceptional. Entertaining, and informative, and it's exceptional. Thank you, Miss Elegant.
And thanks to both of you. gents, meaning gentlemen, gents, they'll all be recommunicating. It's mob talk for recommunicating and reconvening, God willing, in the very near future.
Thank you, Miss Elegant. We love you.
Take care, Miss Elegant. Thank you.
Bye.
Hey, it's me. So I got this hat in honor of Mr. Art Vernon, Mr. Art Klein. So I'm going to do the wrap-up show with the fancy Art Klein hat. Got it? Right between the eyes. So Miss Elegant leads off. We get the big announcement for Timothy Quinn as the art contest winner. Nice job. We get the happy birthday message to Gary Girardi. Happy birthday, McScumbag. Then we got the joke featuring the shul rabbi, right? Visiting the funeral, visiting the cemetery. He's visiting the cemetery and he's celebrating 2 deaths. How about that? That was funny. Avoid processed foods, right? Processed bread, ice cream with thickeners. You want to die already? I don't want any of that stuff, but I eat it anyway, right? Just like you do, unless you want to live a pristine physical condition life like Miss Elegant. Oh, the near-death experience. The near-death experience. Why do you think Hashem, dear God, sent Miss Elegant back? To tell everybody, to tell us, straighten your life out. Don't be like Miss Elegant before she had her near-death experience. Straighten your life out, don't screw up, and you won't go to hell. How about that? That's some good damn advice, isn't it? I thought so. As far as the overall show rating, I got to give it less than 5 stars. I blew it. How about my flub-ups? My flub-ups were lousy. I did a lousy job at that. So I'm giving myself 3 out of 5 stars for that. Next time, hopefully I'll do better. But I had some big smelly clown shoes to fill, filling up McScumbag's clown shoes for hosting. So happy birthday again, buddy. Thanks for letting me host the show in your absence. And hopefully you'll do a better job than me and not have flub-ups next time.
Don't call him a he, 'cause she's a she. It's Elegant Elliot often.